Hey church leaders, we get a lot of questions about what numbers churches should be tracking and what numbers and metrics are considered normal or healthy. Of course, the question we get the most is around counting attendance, but attendance is hardly the only number we should be keeping an eye on. In this video, we're going to walk through what healthy church numbers look like in the areas of staffing and salary, front door and reach, and discipleship and connections. Before we dive into the numbers though, take a minute and hit the subscribe button. Here at the Unstuck Group, our goal is to help pastors grow healthy churches by guiding them to align vision, strategy, team, and action. With every tool and process that we develop, our priority is to help churches, help people meet and follow Jesus. We're here to help you get your church unstuck, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video. Let's start with church staffing and salaries. At the Unstuck Group, we measure this number by the percentage of the overall budget that's spent on staffing expenses, compensation, benefits, taxes, etc. We've found that a healthy range for staffing is 45 to 55% of the overall budget. Of course, every church is different, and there are other factors like cost of living that should be taken into consideration. But on average, this 45 to 55% range is what we found to be the most healthy. Any percentage above that usually means that the church is either over-programmed or struggling to equip volunteers. When it comes to individual staff salaries, there's some room here for variation. And the reality is that most of churches can't compete with the marketplace when it comes to compensation. However, the Bible does say that we should pay our people well. Check out 1 Timothy 5:17 through 18. Whatever that looks like in your local context. Let's jump to your front door and reach metrics. Yes, this does include attendance, and we know that the pandemic has made attendance even harder to measure and track. So here's what we recommend for tracking in-person attendance. Stop measuring attendance based on 2019 or anything pre-pandemic. We're just in a new reality now, and today is the new baseline. If people aren't back, they're probably not coming back. Start tracking attendance for your Sunday worship experience, but also keeping track of how many new people and first-time guests are showing up every week. When it comes to what healthy attendance numbers look like, it really varies greatly based on the church. But take this into account. Based on average member attrition rates, whatever your average weekend attendance is today, you need that many first-time guests to attend your services in the coming 12 months in order to experience growth. If you're trying to measure your online digital attendance, stop using multipliers in your calculations. Multipliers make us feel better, but they're really clouding the reality of where we are, and they're preventing us from engaging in the necessary conversations about how we move forward from here. For your online services, track views of the service both live and after the fact. Pick a baseline and stick with it so that you can monitor those trends over time. For web traffic, social media, and your email list, do the same thing. Pick at least one metric around each platform and measure it over a period of time. The goal is always to get better information, make better decisions about your strategy for engaging with new people who you're trying to reach. Churches track attendance and giving, but this one should be on every church's health dashboard. We call it the becoming known metric. Measure this. How many new people do you have in your database this month? How does that compare to last month and the same time last year? How many new people do you have in your database this year? And how does that compare with last year? This metric's important because it helps us confirm our reach strategies are working. If they are, we should be seeing an increase in the number of new people in our database over time. Of course, the other primary reach metric that you could be tracking is the number of people saying yes to Jesus and going public with their faith through baptism. If you're looking for a benchmark in this area, take whatever your attendance is, multiply that by 5%. If 200 people attend your church, your number's 10. If 2,000 people attend your church, your number's 100. That's been the average number of people saying yes to Jesus in churches that we've served through the years. We should celebrate every person that crosses the line of faith, but this will at least give you a sense of what other churches are experiencing. Finally, let's get to some key metrics around measuring engagement and spiritual growth. True spiritual formation is really difficult to measure. How can we even track the fruits of the Spirit or time spent in prayer? Short answer, we can't. We can, however, track outward signs of spiritual growth and commitment, such as serving, group membership, and giving. Here's some baselines for those areas. When it comes to serving, we should track the number of people serving divided by the average number of adults and students in our weekend attendance. A healthy benchmark for this area is around 45%. We also recommend measuring small group engagement by taking the number of people in groups and dividing it by that same average number of adults and students in your weekend attendance number. A healthy benchmark in this area would be about 60%. Jesus tells us that where our treasure is, there our heart will be also. So, according to Jesus, giving is one of the best possible metrics for a person's discipleship journey. We recommend tracking the number of giving units determining a baseline and monitoring that trend over time. And don't be discouraged if not everyone in your church is giving. If they are, you probably aren't attracting any new people. So while numbers can never tell us the full story, they do work together to help us create a good picture of overall church health. You can dive deeper into this topic in our Healthy Churches by the Numbers series on the Unstuck Church podcast link below. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you found this video helpful and would like to see more like this in the future, make sure to hit the subscribe button on the screen. And if you're interested in talking about how your church can reach sustained health, visit us at theunstuckgroup.com.